Hi Gearhead fans, this is Gearhead Peter, and today we're going to be reviewing a Dannmar SX 6XL, or otherwise known as a Cadet 6000 XL, mid-rise lift, 6,000 pound capacity. One of the nice things about this lift is that it'll work in a garage that's only got a 9-foot ceiling, which is what I have. Now when putting this in, one of the big things to take into account is, see that expansion joint down there? Well, you're not supposed to have the wheels run over those. So whenever you put this in your garage, you're going to have to figure out, where to place it so it doesn't run over those. Otherwise, it kind of gets stuck. And they all recommend not having to go over expansion joints. Now, one of the other nice things about this lift is that you can put the hydraulic line in either on this side or this side, which is really nice. This here is the head unit, or the controller. It's also got a bar up on the top, and if you see right down there, it's got a little prong that goes into the prong down here, or the hole, so you can move it around. Now, they say you can move it around, but I mean, at 800 pounds, it's pretty darn heavy. So I would definitely get two people to help you try to move it around. If you're trying to position it in between 2 points, you can use a big giant crowbar, kind of like the one that I have over here, to kind of do it. And this is good for just moving it, like a ½ inch or so. I mean, you don't want to be trying to, move this thing around 2 or 3 inches with that, because you could damage the unit, and we don't want to do that. So what you're going to do is, this thing comes fully assembled except for the yellow arms. You got to put those in. And we'll go over that in a minute once we get it up in the air. But what you're going to do is fill up the tank down below with automatic transmission fluid, Dextron 3, or what they recommend. So what we're going to do now is raise it up. And what they recommend is once you start raising it up, raise it up and lower it fully six complete cycles. This way, what happens is it bleeds out any unnecessary air, and it'll go up and down a lot smoother. So what we're going to do is press the button here, which is the up button. And you can see it starts moving up pretty fast, but that's because I've already cycled it 6 times. Now it's got 3 self-lockings. We're coming up to one now. That's the first lock, and we'll show you that in a minute. Now this right here is the lock. This is the arm, or the safety, and this right here is what engages the bottom part of the lock. So we're going to put this back down, and I'll show you how it locks in. We're going to press the release handle, which is this right here. And in order for this to go down, this little lever right here has to be in a fully down position, like that. Let's see if we can get that better. There we go. And you want to lube this up with either oil, 3-in-1 oil, or in my case I use some lithium grease, because that's what's going to make it easier to go up and down. Now here comes the second lock. At that point there, you can push the release level, and right now it's engaged. So right in here, it's engaged with the block. This is up like this. Now we're going to take it all the way up. This is the third lock. And then release it. And you should always put it on the lock. You should never use it without the lock being engaged. Otherwise, you know, the hydraulics will over time, you know, can bleed down, and you don't want to be under the car. Now, one of the things you're going to need when you put these arms on is a 1 3/16 wrench or an open crescent wrench. It is a nylon threaded nut, so it is going to be really tight to put on. So that's why I would recommend the 1/2 inch drive, 1 3/16. You're going to put it on so it doesn't move, and then you're going to back it out just enough so this arm can slide around. The washer goes right here, you can see it. There's no washer up on the top, just here. The instructions do say put 2 washers on, one on the top, one on the bottom, but they revised it. And I talked to tech support at Dannmar. And then up at the top here, this is the bolts that will prevent this from coming off. And you have 3 different sizes. You have the normal size that would go around. You have an adapter to make it go higher. So you have that if you have a truck or an SUV. You can even make it go higher with this little adapter right here. As you can see. Now this is essentially the same unit as the bend pack MD6XP. The only difference is the bend pack goes up about 5 inches higher, up to 54 inches with all the adapters, or 47 inches with just the flat adapter. That's the one on the left. Now, as you can see from my garage, if I stuck a car on that and went up 5 inches higher, I could run into a problem of smacking my roof on the top of the garage. And so for this one, this works fine. The Dannmar goes for $18.49 through Summit, and they do have a liftgate service, and definitely you're going to need a liftgate service for this. It does weigh close to 1,000 pounds, and have a couple of friends come over, strong ones hopefully, and get it off the pallet. It does come palletized, and it's a really good pallet that they put it on with all the hardware, which is really good. I'll show you pictures of that afterwards, which is what I have, which I'm going to be using on my cars. One of them that I'm going to be using it on is my 2015 Lexus RC 350F Sport. Now, one of the things I needed to do, since this does have an overall collapsed light of height of 4 3/4 inches, is my 65 Mustang has the exhaust that kind of hangs down a little bit, and it does hit, as you can see right there, and kind of scraped it a little bit. So I built these 2x12s by 12 car ramps. So I put 2 of them together, put a little end block so I wouldn't run off of it. They can also be extended if I have my wife's larger Lexus to put on here. And on the back, as you can see from here, or this one maybe, is I put chamfered 2x12 three pieces together so I can get the car up onto the lift, so it would be easier to pop up on there. Now, one of the other things you need to do is this has to be on a level surface, and it's got to be as level as possible. And with that, what I'm saying is it can't, once it's in the up position, it can't be teeter-tottering back and forth. So if you have to put a small metal plate, which is what I did right there, right there, to get it so it stabilizes, that's what you got to do. They do not recommend putting this on asphalt because of the weight of it. The wheels will sink into the asphalt, and again, that would not be very good. And they do not recommend putting this on a slope graded in 3 degrees. Otherwise, your car could fall off and cause bodily injury and harm, not to mention kill you. So that's my review of the Dannmar SX-6XL mid-rise lift. This is going to be a great addition to my garage. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just hit me up on my YouTube channel. Thanks. Have a great day, y'all. Bye-bye.